海外の映画を字幕なしで見てみたいなって、英語を勉強してるあなたは一度でも思ったことありますよね。他にも大好きなハリウッド俳優がいて、その人の英語を理解したいな。とか、例えばカフェで隣にいる外国人のグループの英語を少しでも理解できたらいいな、みたいな。で、そこであなたはこう考えるわけですね。よし、じゃあもうとりあえず英語を聞きまくって耳が慣れさえすれば理解できるようになるんじゃないか。そして、本屋に行ってリスニングの教材を買って、そのオーディオの CD みたいなのを毎日聞いていくと。ただ、1週間経っても全然聞こえるようにならない。2週間経っても聞こえるようにならない。聞こえるようにならないからめんどくさくてやめちゃって。気がついたら本棚には英語の教材がいっぱい並んでるみたいな。こんな経験ないですか？この動画ではあなたのリスニングがいつまで経っても伸びない理由、そしてどのようにすれば海外の映画を字幕なしで見れるのかっていうところについて話していきます。で、公式 LINE の方では英語力0から流暢に話せるようになるまでのロードマップっていうのを配ってます。英語話せるようになりたいけど全然伸びないんだよなとか、やる気はあるんだけどいつも挫折するんだよなみたいな方は、ぜひ概要欄のリンクから受け取ってください。また、公式 LINE を追加していただいた方だけに、あなたのレベルに合わせたあなただけの勉強法をお伝えするような特別な勉強会っていうのも、期間限定で無料で開催してます。その勉強会に参加したい方も、この下の概要欄のリンクから公式 LINE を追加してお待ちください。ちなみに今から話すことっていうのは、20歳から英語学習を始めた僕が実際に体験、実験して、やったことなんで、これ皆さんにも再現性高くできます。僕、義務教育は受けてきたんですけど、英語なんて全然勉強しませんでした。20歳からです。大学2年生の時に初めて始めました。でそれまでは僕ずっと野球しかしてなかったんですよ。なんで、大学受験も推薦で入ったし、高校も甲子園に行くぐらい野球を頑張ってました。なので、特に勉強っていう勉強はあんまりしてなかったんですよね。そんな僕でも20歳から勉強して半年以内には日常会話も話せるようになって、映画も字幕なしで見れるようになってます。今は海外に一人でいつでも行けるし、観光している外国人に話しかけて、インタビューもしてますけど、そういったこともできるようになったし、自分のキャリアを考える意味でも、英語を話せる人生で本当に良かったなと思ってます。もうあらゆる選択肢が広がります。それを僕は身をもって体験してるからこそ、この動画を作ってます。今回はリスニングなんでしっかり見ていてください。海外の映画を字幕なしで見たいイコール、リスニングができるようになりたいなんですけど、そのリスニングの勉強をする上で、一番やってしまう間違いですね。ダントツで一番多い間違いっていうのが、とりあえず英語を聞きまくるっていう。これが一番多いです。例えばよくあるイマージョンだったりだとか、とりあえず聞き流す。ラジオをずーっと聞くだったりとかっていうトレーニングですね。でこれをやっちゃう人がめちゃくちゃ多いです。で、これ長い目で見たら、確かにイマージョンとか聞き流しだけでも、英語を理解できるようにはなるんですよ。ただ、あなたが20歳以降とか30、40代、50代の方見てくれてる方多いですけど、そういう方がイマージョンだけでいけるかって言われたら、無理に近いです。それはなぜかっていうと、リスニングにはたくさんの要素が含まれてるからですね。ずっと聞いてるだけで慣れるっていうのは、やっぱ赤ちゃんだったりとか幼少期の時代、頭がもっと柔らかい柔軟な頃っていうのはできますけど、大人になってからそれだけで聞けるようになるっていうのは至難の技ですね。それがなぜできないのか。リスニングっていうのは何で構成されているのかっていう話を今からしていきます。こっからは英語でいきますね。Alright, this is something nobody talks about, but it's really, really important. So a lot of people suggest that immersion is the best method to improve your listening skill. But for me, it's not. English is made up of a lot of elements like rhythm, pronunciation, linking, connected speech, and grammar and vocabulary, and even cultural thinking. When you immerse yourself with English without breaking down these elements, it's easy to get overwhelmed. That's why I recommend analyzing each component one by one. And if you can't understand native English speakers, or if movies feel too fast to follow, there is a specific reason for that. Let's talk about 4 essential aspects of listening comprehension. Okay, we're gonna start off with first one. Many people underestimate this, but grammar is what holds sentences together. Without a basic understanding of sentence structure, you're just hearing words, not the meanings. Okay, have you ever experienced this? Someone is talking to you and you're trying so hard to listen to them and try to understand, but you catch some words, but you didn't understand the whole sentence of meanings. And then you respond in a conversation, but the conversation is messed up because you said something wrong, or you said something it's not related to the conversation, and you feel so bad and conversation gets awkward, and you say just goodbye, and you're never gonna see that person because you feel like you're afraid of what they're thinking about you. This is what happened to me when I was 20 years old. When I started studying English, I didn't understand anything, but I tried to understand what people say, but my grammar skill was not enough. So I was just listening to the conversation, but I catch some words and I imagine what they said and I respond to that conversation. But I said something really wrong. It's not about the conversation even. And they say like, what are you talking about? I often misunderstood people and I got awkward every single time. And the worst part, I was really scared of speaking to people because I was afraid of if the conversation goes in a wrong direction. That was a terrible feeling. You don't want to make it happen. So what you have to do is to learn grammar. There's no other way. Some people say like grammar is not important. You can just listen to music. You can just speak, blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. You need a correct grammar. It's absolutely essential. And the next important thing for listening comprehension is pronunciation. This is especially challenging and stressful for Japanese learners because growing up, we often learn katakana eigo that sounds nothing like real spoken English. When I started studying English at 20 years old, so in summer break, I went to California in Los Angeles to homestay, and I had a host family. At the time, like I didn't understand English. I had no English skill. So I didn't understand what my host mom said. So we often used the English translation. And she used a translation and I looked at the translation. I could understand 80% of the sentences because the words she said was something that I learned in junior high school or high school. When I look at the words, I understand the meanings. But when I hear it, I couldn't understand. Why? It's because I was input the words in a wrong way. I think this is relatable for you. When you memorize some words like orange, I was remembering in the way like orange. So if it's baseball, I remember the words in basketball. That was the way that I remember the words. But honestly, you gotta change the way that you learn vocabulary. If you keep doing that, you won't be able to get listening skill. That's when I also realized that I have to fix my pronunciation hard. And later in this video, I'm gonna show you how to train your pronunciation. So stick with it. Third important thing is vocabulary. Obviously, if you don't know words, you don't understand the conversation. But I'm not saying that you have to remember like 10,000 words or like 15,000 words or something like that. Actually, when it comes to vocabulary, there are only specific words that was used in conversation. Okay, I want you to think about it. In what situation you speak English? Like you speak to your friends, and what do you talk about with your friends? You talk about work, or you talk about your hobbies, or you talk about your trip? What do you talk about? Okay, you should focus on the vocabulary that's most useful in your daily life. Okay, next important thing, and I think the most frustrating part of English is linking and connected speech. This is very tricky. Even if you pronounce individual words correctly, it's still really difficult to understand full sentences when native English speakers talk. And let me explain why. When Japanese people speak English, it's usually easy to understand. But when native English speakers talk, it's much harder to understand. Why? It's because they usually connect the words. They drop certain syllables or it's completely different rhythm. That also leads to the misunderstanding for Japanese people. Even if grammar and vocabulary is very simple, the way they speak English is much challenging. So what can you do about it? There's one specific method to solve this problem. So I'm going to show you how to do it now. So you go to YouTube and you pick up one video on YouTube and choose one video that you're interested in on YouTube. Once you pick it up, watch the video with Japanese subtitles. And then once you understand the video, turn off the subtitle and listen carefully, sentence by sentence. If you don't understand, just pause the video and try to figure out why you couldn't listen. This is very simple. There's reason why you can't understand. So first, the word itself, word you didn't know. And second reason, you didn't know the grammar. And third reason, you didn't know the pronunciation. Fourth reason, you didn't understand the linking. There are only 4 reasons. You nail down what was the problem. Finding out the exact cause of problem is the key. After that, this is really important. You repeat the sentence over and over again until you copy it perfectly. Maybe it depends on people. Maybe it takes 5 minutes to mimic the sentence perfectly, but that's okay. Don't rush. With consistent effort and clear method, your listening skill will improve. Language learning isn't the magic, but it is transformation. One small win at a time. What I really like about dictation is that you can actually learn not only pronunciation and linking, but also face expression and linking and grammar and vocabulary, everything. You can learn everything from the one sentence. With just one example, you can learn so much. You don't need any like textbooks or like audio or CDs or something like that. You don't need to go to bookstores to buy some textbook. You can just use YouTube for free. And again, this is not just about listening. It's about languages, but focusing on just one specific skill is not enough. You have to do everything that you can. Work on grammar, pronunciation, connected speech, everything. And after I did those things, my English improved so much. Alright, that's it for today. ためになったな、参考になったなと思った方は、動画のいいねとチャンネル登録をお願いします。動画の冒頭にも言ったように、あなたの英語力を加速させるための勉強会、特別な勉強会っていうのを期間限定で無料で開催します。参加券は概要欄の公式 LINE から受け取ってください。Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.